This one rooftop solar, to me, I think appears to have lesser challenges. One, of course, transmission loss is reduced with RTS. RTS with energy storage systems, along with the type of distributed energy resource we are talking about, the peer-to-peer energy sharing, and so on and so forth. Probably the modern electric systems will have more and more use of rooftop solar. It is already started to happen in many of the European countries, where they're calling it energy islands, or in US using blockchain and other technologies. So I think in India also we are going to see such type of things happening. But we have to be careful about the business models, what type of business models we develop, whether it is the self-owned or third-party owned RTS system, and how the revenue structure is going to be worked out. So these are some important things which have to be done in a with a lot of discussion. The confusion about the gross metering and net metering itself is not yet completely over. Some of the discoms are focusing on gross metering, some are focusing on net metering, though both have its own advantage and disadvantage with regard to the consumer and the discom perspective. So we have to come out with a common ground, which one should be preferred or should be promoted, or should we promote both, depending on the type of consumers. The discoms, I remember when all these things, the rooftop solar or the building integrated solar was started way back in 2010. The first project was in Rabi Rashmi Awasan in Kolkata. At that time, the distribution companies were mostly favoring net metering because the solar cost was very high, and the consumers were favoring gross metering, right? But now the situation has completely reversed. So I think without taking sides, I think it is for the discoms and the consumers to come out at a common ground, which model should be favored. And the more early we can find out a solution to this, I think the scale of implementation will increase. This is one. Secondly, the time of day pricing also have to be introduced. To some extent, now we have a solar tariff and a non-solar tariff, but I think it has to be implemented. In India, policies are always good, but the problem lies with implementation of some of the policies at the ground level, electricity being in the concurrent subject. So sometimes the federal government's policy and the state government policy doesn't match, and those brings in conflict. The consumers get confused. So this is something that needs to be worked out. Third, I think we have residential rooftop. We have seen how Gujarat has done wonderfully well. Almost 60% of the total residential rooftop is from Gujarat. And they have followed a very structured model. I would say they have followed to some extent some similar model, like a very structured model was followed in California. Whether in terms of RESCO selection or aggregation of demand, or building a large base of RESCOs, providing them training, creating awareness to various media channels. So I think all these things are needed. The states are not talking to each other. So they need to talk to each other, learn from each other's experience. Kerala is doing wonderfully well by aggregating demand, where the distribution company has opened a cell in the Kerala State Electricity Board, and they have gone to each and every house to find out what is the rooftop potential. And accordingly, they have now worked out 3 different models: RESCO-based model, utility model, and consumer, basically the purchase model, this one. And now they have started implementing it. So these are some of the things that need to be done by all the other states and learn from each other. Probably that will help the sector to grow. And lastly, I would like to say that there are still confusion among many of the consumers, because the national rooftop portal has been launched, but I think we are not doing enough awareness about. So many people do ask me that, how do I get my subsidy? Should I have to apply through the discom, or I should apply directly in the national portal? So I think the way the Bureau of Energy Efficiency at one point of time has created that this awareness drive about energy efficiency systems. They also created a mascot, and using that, they reached out to each and every home through different media channels. I think for the rooftop solar program to succeed, A similar type of campaign is necessary at the national level, which can reach out to not just to households in the urban area, but also households in the rural area. There's a huge potential in the rural areas, whether we call it rooftop solar or we call it institutional rooftops. This one, all these things have to be tapped. In fact, I have always been saying that I've seen in other countries happening it. Like, let's take the example of Delhi Metro. This one, all the south-facing elevated corridors of Delhi Metro should be solar should be installed in those. The metro line should be designed in a way that it's not just about the metro station. I am talking about the metro lines. This one of the elevated lines. So all the south-facing elevated lines should have solar, and you start producing wherever it is possible to produce solar to meet your objective of this 500 gigawatt non-fossil fuel energy target. Otherwise, land is going to be a big problem. Floating solar is picking up, but at one point of time, it is also going to create a problem with biodiversity and other aquatic biodiversity and other things. All sites, wherever possible, should be put up with solar. And this could be one step. The metro lines, the flyovers, this one of the institutional buildings, beyond the railway stations and other, all these things should be connected with rooftops. So I will stop here. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think, Ashima, are you on mute?
Yeah. Ashima, we cannot hear you. I think there might be some network problem.
Yeah, seems to be. Mr. Virat, are you there? Might be she's rejoining. So Debajit, what you said was really great and correct. The way things are moving is great, but then, all the states have to learn and compete with each other in a good way. Yeah, Ashima is back.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Ashima.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ashima, you're.
Okay, so my next question is for Dr. Vinod Tiwari. How do you see the evolution of solar rooftop technology in the global context, and how it is expected to progress in coming years?
Okay. So thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to convey my thanks and regards to Ashima and Virat for taking this great initiative to make this a nice program for awareness for the people. And the question what you asked, like, how do you see the evolution of this? So let me tell you, this solar rooftop technology has been experiencing a remarkable evolution in recent years, maybe last 2 to 5 years. And the future looks even brighter and shiner. Let me tell you why. Because as the awareness of this need of this renewable energy source grows, the global context of the rooftop solution is becoming increasingly favorable. And this I'm not talking, as per my aspect from India, or I was living in UAE for 1 decade, and I was working there with the solar domain only. So not only from these two countries, but as a global aspect, including the Europe and US as well. Now, in the coming years, we can expect to see several exciting advancements. What could be those exciting advancements? And I'm so thrilled about those things which are going to come in our way. Firstly, that there would be a greater emphasis on two things, two major things. Number one is energy efficiency, and second is affordability. So these two aspects, everywhere things are working upon, things are really working on the same aspect, and the development for more efficient solar cells, improved battery storage system, which is a bigger challenge today, because energy production is a challenge, but then storing that energy is a rather bigger challenge. So, improving the battery storage systems, not maybe the VRLS batteries or the lithium ion, rather more better and efficient and economical as well. And third, the streamlined installation process. So these three things can make rooftop solars more accessible to wider range of people. Let me tell you that I'm living in Gujarat, as what Debajit said. Gujarat is really, doing great in the rooftop solar, and they have not only achieved the target, rather they have not met the target, rather they have grown beyond the targets. And not only that, just I'm saying and I'm excited, but I myself also I'm a real user of the rooftop solar. I have installed my rooftop solar at my penthouse way back in 2018. So around 5 years I'm working upon on this, and I'm just trying to support and help people. Now, additionally, there would be a surge in innovation. Why? Because leading to this exciting new features. Now it's not only the solar system, rather the solar system has to be a smart solar system. We have smart home theater, we have smart mobile, smartphone, smart city, smart everything. Why not the solar? And this time, as what Debajit also told us, AI and blockchain and the machine learning is going to play a huge role, big role. Now, just if we can think about that, can we think that there could be a smart solar, which can work as a personal energy manager for us, for our home? Like what it means, that picture, that it means we can just imagine that intelligent solar rooftop system is there, which can adjust the energy production, okay, which can let us know about the consumption based on the weather conditions, and let us know in advance, in a real time, and based on our energy demands patterns, it can adjust its production line. So these things are going to happen, and people are working upon it to make this solar rooftops also. And one more major thing which is going on today across major corporations is that they are trying to integrate the solar rooftops with the smart home systems. So smart home systems are going to get integrated with the solar rooftop. That's also going to make a new going to create a big dimensions. Now, these things are there. Now, overall, I see that the evolution of the solar technology in the global context, not national context, is expected to progress rapidly with increased of efficiency and affordability, and definitely innovation with integration of the smart system, as what I said. And exciting times is going to come. Solar rooftops are going to play a significant role, going to shape a greener and more sustainable future for all of us. And this thing I'm just not just saying, rather not teaching, but preaching as well. So things are exciting, and we as an individual, if we are going to contribute ourselves in this solar energy, so ultimately we are going to support India to achieve the big target of 500 gigawatt what Ashima spoke about. Thank you, Ashima.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for elaborating the topic. So my next question is for Debajit sir again. So how should the regulatory framework be laid out for the robust growth of this sector in the country? Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So I think the first thing about the regulatory framework, I think, is to bring in more clarity. I start again with whether it is the net metering or gross metering, whichever the regulators decide, or it could be a mix of both. Let that clarity be first brought by the regulators. Number two, the time of day pricing, which will help a consumer to know very well that why they should implement a rooftop in their house. Time of day pricing might help in that, in achieving that. Three, the government has to create a large base of RESCO or ESCO who can invest in the rooftop market. A consumer may not be willing to invest all the money that is necessary to put up a rooftop, but may be willing to provide on a monthly basis or the energy charge. So we need to have energy service companies who can implement these rooftop solar projects, either as a taking the roof on a lease or on behalf of the consumer. And to make that happen, while we have a large number of installer, but we have not many ESCOs in India. So the government has to create that ecosystem to have more number of ESCOs who can actually guide the consumer to do an energy audit of their house and how a rooftop solar is going to help them in the long run. And can also, and some of these ESCOs can also transform themselves into energy trading company at a later stage when we use more and more peer-to-peer energy sharing and blockchain. Very recently, UP Regulatory Commission has come out with the guidelines for peer-to-peer energy trading. Some of the pilot projects are also happening in Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, and other places. And hopefully with success of these projects, these states will also come out with their own guidelines. Now, who is going to implement those peer-to-peer systems? Then we need energy service companies who are trained in implementing these models, so that they can go and discuss with the consumers the benefits of these models. And consumer can also earn some money by just sharing their energy with their neighbors. So that's a model. What I see, there should be more clarity. Virtual net metering has just taken shape. I think it has just been started. I think we need more clarity on virtual net metering, who is eligible, who is not eligible, how to get it implemented, and all these things. One sector where not much work is being done as far as rooftop solar is concerned is the MSME sector, the micro, small, and medium enterprise. While the medium enterprise probably has the ability and the financial wherewithal to set up systems, but the micro enterprise doesn't have it, especially in the rural areas. Now, that is something which I feel has a huge potential. When I was in Kerry, I worked out a model for such systems in micro enterprises in Uttar Pradesh, and we found a lot of benefit out of it. That also helps in reduction of demand during the daytime, because some of these micro enterprises can shift to clean energy. Because they don't have the ability and capability to shift, so they have to be guided. And that guidance, that ecosystem has to be developed. The government can facilitate, or government can support the renewable energy development agencies to facilitate that. This one. Then the skilling and licensing for installation and commissioning. So in India, anybody can go and set up a rooftop, do the installation. Now, how good or bad the person is in installing the rooftop, we don't know. Does he has a certification to do that? In a country like Kenya, they provide certificate for all installers. Everybody is not allowed to do the installation. So electrical safety certificate and all these things have to be taken. And that part is extremely important. How do you integrate? Surya Mitra program is happening, but is it sufficient? Are they getting employed? Or should we integrate the installation of distributed solar in the existing trade of ITI curriculum? We tried it in 2010 on behalf of the ministry. This one, I was leading that project, and we trained the trainers in Advanced Training Institute who can further train the ITI instructor. So instead of opening a new solar course, it's much easier to integrate the solar into existing trades like electrical diploma or electronics diploma or fitter diploma and all those things. So that will make the thing much faster, and two, that will give certainty to the installer or the technician that if he at least if he doesn't get a work in solar, he will still survive by working in the electricity, say electrical fittings and other thing. This one, no. So that brings in more certainty as a trade. So the last I would say is that how do we integrate building bylaws with making this on the buildings, at least some of the villas and other buildings which are 2-story or 3-story buildings to have rooftop solar. California has done it wonderfully well. I think in India, we need to look at it, that every building bylaws, whenever it is building designs, whenever it is passed, should have mandatory solar rooftop, and the building bylaws should include it. While it maybe in some of the municipalities it has been included, but whether it is implemented or not is a big question. The reason why I'm saying is electric vehicle charging is already, as a policy, it has been included in all the in all the housing societies. It has been made mandatory. But that communication probably has not been transferred to the municipal departments. When the building bylaws are being approved, so the building designs are being approved for housing societies, this is not an integral, but the charging stations are not being made mandatory. So policy at the central level is one thing, and policy who is actually implementing the policy or the bylaws at the ground level is a different thing. So we also need to make these municipal authorities aware about these new things, because they are all traditional, trained in the conventional business way of work. So they have to be trained on these new technologies and new requirements. And that probably is not happening the way it should happen. The bankers should be trained why they should give loan to the for setting up a rooftop solar. Some of the banks, like in Gujarat, maybe all the bankers have been trained, and that's why the sector has speeded up. But not in. I hail from Assam. I don't think in Assam not a single bank has been trained. This one, or maybe very few banks may have been trained. This one. No? So these are some of the areas where a lot of work needs to be done if we are to scale up the thing. And lastly, I would say there needs to be a shift of mindset from the DISCOM officials. I feel that there is that means they think that rooftop solar is a competitor to them. So that mindset has to change. I feel with more and more, as I said, the peer-to-peer guidelines have been released in UP by the UP Regulatory Commission. So maybe tomorrow for the DISCOM, they can become an aggregator. They can provide the energy trading platform, and that would be a new business opportunity for the DISCOM. So instead of they seeing it, the rooftop solar as a competitor, it could be a new business opportunity for them, that the energy is traded through their platform and using their distribution network. So that change of mindset is very essential, and that can only happen if the DISCOM's officials are made aware of the new technologies by organizing trainings and awareness program and so on and so forth. So I think these are some of the work that needs to be done. Maybe the regulator and at the policy level, the policymakers and the regulatory agencies can take a lead, because in India, most of the things move top down. It works in a top down fashion. So I think that's a big role for the regulator and policymakers to make the sector a better success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So my next question is for Mr. Dharmendra. What is your experience as an entrepreneur regarding the rooftop solar opportunity in India and how it is shaping up? What is your long-term focus for this sector?
Great promotion, Council of India, and thanks, Ashima and Vinod. I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Solar rooftop segment has been very exciting for us. Since we have been in business from last, we are third generation entrepreneur, and our family has been into agro-based industries before. And switching over to the new segment, which is solar, was very difficult and very interesting in a way to understand this sector. For us, it was very different experience altogether. So to know this industry better and to see how it works, what I did, I first of all got myself installed 10 kilowatt system at my house, and I saw the result. When I saw the result, I found it is really working. So why not this sector can have a boost? Why don't this sector can come up to a level where it has to go? And I'm talking to you in the year 2015. So since then, I formed a company in 2016, and we got first letter of allocation from the Solar Energy Corporation of India. And it was for the RESCO model and one for CAPEX also. So we did 2.5 megawatt, and being first in the industry, this sector, because the agro processing industry was totally a different experience and solar was totally a different ball game altogether. And it was really exciting because the way the industry was working during that time and now how it is working. So there is a sea change. But that was the first milestone which our company achieved. And we were awarded a tender of 2.5 megawatt, which we did quite successfully. And our experience through that sector while doing that job, that this thing got confirmed that this sector has a lot of potential, and accordingly we started our moving both segment, like the capex and the we are participating in both the segment. And third segment which we started was the asset management. Since over a period of time, we have built a portfolio of 20 megawatt in rooftop and 15 megawatt is in pipeline. So what we thought to manage this bunch of asset, why not have our own company which manages our assets also? And what I felt during COVID time, this has really worked well for us, because during that time it was very difficult for asset to be managed. But since having our own company has helped us in a big way. And I found during that time, many such companies which were just operating in capex segment, they did not survive because they did not have any income. But since our company had all the three under one portfolio, so we could sustain our company during those difficult time, I would say. And touch wood, we have been doing very good post that also. And almost 15 megawatt we have in pipeline now. And I would also say during those time when we started our company, and today, many of players which were with us during that time, they are not there in this segment anymore. I don't know why, but I have been standby for the rooftop segment because I felt rooftop has got immense potential. Looking at the target, which as Mr. Dr. Debajit Palit has mentioned during his speech, that it is 100 gigawatt and 40 gigawatt for the rooftop alone. So there is trillion and trillion dollars of money coming into this segment. There is no doubt about it. And there are very few players who are working in this segment. So looking at that opportunity, I stand firm on this, my conviction that rooftop is a segment where there is a lot of opportunity. Okay, there are challenges, no doubt, because of the policy, because of the technology changing so fast, and so many other things, like there is a lack of manpower, skilled manpower is not there. And as Mr. Debajit Palit very rightly said, there is total mismatch of policy between the state government and the central government. Sometimes that is really frustrating, but still to do a business, there is always challenges ahead. There is no, all the days are not rose day. So we have to take those challenges and to sustain them and to be in business. So now to have our long-term goal is this, that we will be in this segment only, the rooftop segment, because there are very limited player available right now. And we see a big opportunities. At residential sector, you see Government of India is giving grant subsidies through DISCOM. So this segment is coming up in a very big way. And most of the residential people who are having their bungalows, they are now approaching us and they want this solar system to be installed. And because they are now the kind of awareness which Government of India has recently mobilized their campaign through Solar Energy Corporation of India, through ENY. So there is a lot of demand which is now being created through various such social media campaigns. And we see ourselves to be benefited out of this, being in this segment. And gradually, as you see, जो ज़्यादा इसमें growth आई है, that we can see, though 2010 I think so, solar mission has been announced. And after 2015, nearly after 5 years, this segment has taken off like anything because of the support from the Government of India and the awareness which has been created and the technology transfer which has taken place during this time. So the cost of the system which was there from 5 years now has come down drastically, and the quality has also improved. So generation is also much better than what it was before. So seeing this, all this thing, we stand firm on our decision, and we will be continuing the segment for the another 10 years to come. That's what I can say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering the question. So moving ahead, I have next question for Dr. Vinod Tiwari. How do you see the progress in this segment in India and learnings for policymakers and industry in the country?
Okay, so let me. This is a really good question what you asked, Ashima. I see that as of now, there is a huge, kind of a cooperation and understanding between the policymakers and in the industry. Like India has been making a significant strides in the adoption of the solar rooftop technology. Why I can say so? Because, action speaks louder than words. So those numbers which are coming and growing like anything, as what Mr. Dharmendra also told, that this time it's like picking up. So this time, the progress of this segment has been so impressive. And I would like to really say thank you to the government policies and their vision, basically. Maybe we all should agree that there was a Paris Agreement, and there they made a commitment. And we are the only country in the G20 countries who have been, leading among all other countries. So the government policies, their vision is basically synchronizing and matching with the financial incentives and increasing awareness among the citizens. So I do understand that corrections are required, but as of now, the things are really great. Now, policymakers in India players in India can draw a valuable learning from this all journey, the journey which have been made in last 1 decade, I should say. Now, firstly, the success of the solar rooftop deployment in India highlights the importance of supportive policy framework. Okay, this was a great thing. Now, initiatives such as like subsidies has been started. Maybe earlier there was a different model when I installed the rooftop solar at my place. Now it's a different rooftop, but then subsidies are there from the central government, and definitely there is extra and above subsidies are being given away by the state government. So that's also something great. Net metering, the simplified regulation policies are playing a great crucial role in driving the adoption of the this rooftop technology. Now, continual evaluation in this improvement in these policies will be essential to sustain the momentum for coming years and for the long run. So this is again very much required. And another key learning is the importance of the collaboration between government, industry, and academia. Now, as what Debajit said, because the governments, they do have something, but then academia, if they come and play a good role, as what he said, that there should be streamlined and there should be a trained, or there should be policy, those people who are licensed actually or trained basically from the particular industry or from the organization, then definitely people will get a great kind of support and understanding that yes, I'm in a good hands, and then I can go with it and they can rely upon. So these things are very much important. Now, by fostering this partnership and knowledge sharing, India has been able to address challenges and unlock the full potential of the solar rooftop. This is really has been talked upon across the globe. Everywhere people are talking about. Last week I was in another webinar. There was a lady from a consultant lady from France, and she was talking about the same rooftop solar, and she was saying that in they have the policies that in especially Paris or suburban areas, that after 2028, those buildings and those independent constructions, they are coming, they have to necessarily put a rooftop solar. So those things are working, and the collaboration should continue focusing on here 3 things I would like to say, that the collaboration should focus on research and development, skill development, and fostering innovation in the sector. Okay. Now, research and development, we know that this part is being led by the country, by India. So this is the part where we should pump our focus and motivation and passion about it, because research and development is a much more needed, so that we can rely upon the Indian technology rather than relying on the technology coming from the eastern part or from any other countries. Secondly, the skill development. Definitely, we need people to get skilled, and they should be skilled from the right resource, so that if they are rightly skilled, so that we can ensure that the solar rooftops which are being installed are really installed for long term. It should not be just installed by any of the labor or manpower. And these are the major things. Now, in terms of the industry, there is a need of continuous investment in the research and development. This is what I believe policy makers should understand. And this development will be definitely supporting and improving the efficiency and affordability. That's what I said in earlier question. These two are the major things: efficiency and affordability of the rooftop. And it will make solar power make more attractive option for a wider range of customers. Additionally, this industry players can focus on creating awareness campaigns, awareness campaign to educate the people about the benefit and the long-term cost saving which is associated with the rooftop solar. Now, people don't have the real mindset, and whenever I meet people and talk about these rooftop solar and all, out of 10, I did not found even a single person who said no. They become so excited. So I believe that the people are not really aware. So the awareness campaigns are really required. And one more thing I would like to add upon that this Indian rooftop solar sector can benefit from promoting decentralized energy generation, and fostering the local manufacturing capabilities. Okay, this would not create huge job opportunity, but it will also reduce the reliance on imported components, making solar rooftop cost more effective, not in the short run, but in a long run. So those things again has to be checked by the government policy holders. And in summary, the progress of rooftop solar in India provides valuable insights for policymakers, industrial players. It emphasizes the importance of supportive policies, collaboration, research, and innovation. And by applying all these learnings, India can further accelerate the adoption of the solar rooftop and become a global leader in the renewable energy, solar rooftop energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So moving on, I have next question for Mr. Akshaya Gupta. SolarClue is an AI-powered marketplace that offers a variety of solar products and services. So what are the most popular segments in your experience, and how do you expect customer demand to shape up in the future?
Hello everyone, I am Akshaya and I am from SolarClue. Thank you for calling me here and giving me the opportunity. So the first thing is SolarClue. I am from SolarClue. So we are basically an e-commerce marketplace. So no, it's just like how Amazon is, Myntra is. So we are in the solar sector. So in our we have all range of products, starting from solar panel, inverter, batteries, solar water heater, lanterns, and everything. From small to big, every product we have. So in this, the question, I forgot the question. Okay, what is the most popular segment in your experience? So in our company majorly operates in B2C. Our major focus is B2C, a normal customer. So a normal customer, mainly inquiries comes on the basis of solar water heater. Firstly, because we are from Bangalore, and Bangalore government has made it compulsory for everyone to put solar water heater on your terrace. Until that happens, you don't get energy meter or the fixed meter. So that is why the demand is very high. And altogether, the second best region is Hyderabad and Delhi, where the requirement is too huge. So solar water heater inquiries comes a lot, and conversion also happens a lot. The second types of inquiries are solar panels, solar power plants, and these kinds of inquiries generally come to us because we are very good on Google marketings and all. So people who search on Google will come. So tier 1 companies come, tier 1 people are in tier 1 cities. They come mostly to us, but too many requirements comes from tier 2 and tier 3 cities also, there where they want to put. But these kinds of people generally go on referral basis. Okay, you have installed, so where you have installed, so we will get the EPC contact number. So in my point of view, first is solar water heater, second is solar panels category, and the third is small lanterns, garden lights, maybe mobile charging unit, especially in tier 2 cities where there is a electricity problem. They don't have electricity, they don't have light, they want to charge their mobile phones. So for those kinds of people comes to us. So these are the three main categories where people comes. Yeah. Ashim.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So my next question is again for you. How are customers viewing the utility of solar rooftop technology, and what barriers do you see to its adoption?
So first of all, there is a lack of knowledge, as every speaker is telling here, because there is a lack of awareness and knowledge. So firstly, people come to us and so there are a lot of challenges before adoption. So after adoption, there is not much of problem because solar power system or panels are the most reliable products ever made. Mostly, if you see generally, so they'll run longer, very less issues, service issues are less. I'm not talking much about this solar rooftop, that B2C type of customers. So there, if you have installed a good quality products and everything, so the problems of the customers comes very less, and that is the main reason. After adoption, there is not much of issues coming to us. But before adoption, when there are a lot of issues, more than 10, 15 issues will be there. The first issues is lack of knowledge. Everyone is saying the same thing: lack of knowledge, awareness. They don't know such these kinds of products are there which can reduce the electricity bills or which can give you the electricity. So people don't know much about it. So top tier cities people know. Tier 3 cities people know because of agricultural based borewell based pumps and motors, but mostly people don't know. So lack of knowledge. So suppose now they get knowledge. Okay, there is something called solar thing, solar product, which can save our electricity. But the thing is, they analyze it and they found out that the price is higher. They come up with the thing that, sir, my electricity bill is 1,500 rupees. But for removing this 1,500 rupees, they have to spend lakhs. 80,000, 1 lakh, 1.2 lakh, depending on what kind of system they are going and which brand they are going. So the first thing that comes to their mind is for saving 1,500 rupees, I have to spend 1.2 lakh rupees or 1 lakh rupees, which is roughly around 8-9 years, which then gives a major pain to the customers. Okay, this much investment. So the second thing is lack of funds and lack of interest also. Generally, we have seen, suppose someone is building their house, so they will keep a provision for solar panels also on their terrace. But at the time of finishing their house, their budget is now gone. So what they will do first, they will remove the solar part. Okay, we will not go for solar. So, and the budget is also a huge requirement. So that is why this is the second problem. And third problem is, even if they go for solar power plant, what is the ROI? In some systems, the ROI specifically in smaller size power plants, the ROI goes to somewhere around 8 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years also. So in this type of system, people think that, oh, this much money, so I can put it into my fixed deposit and I can earn the same thing. So this is one thing. Fourth, the major important one is selecting the EPC partner. In this industry, I have seen people are learning, most of the technicians are learning by each other. They don't have professional knowledge, professional experience. They are first a fresher is coming from other industry, or a fresher is coming, he is learning from his partner or colleague, and then he will be teaching to his fellow who is going to come in future. So particular knowledge of technicians are not there. One head engineer is sitting, he knows, but the rest of the people doesn't know. So, and many a times I have seen, since everyone starts this solar business, so, and there is a very lack of margins are there because solar is very competitive also. So because they are getting less margin, they take up the project and they leave in between. So people are scared that if I spend, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 lakhs of amount, and if in midway, if the EPC partner leave us by taking the amount, it will be very dangerous and painful for them. So this EPC thing, one, I think Debajit sir was saying, so there should be one centralized portal where where verification of the company should happen on document basis, and then the second level of verification should happen on the office level basis. Some officials will come to the office and check some of the projects. So this can be done, but so that people get more trust about it. Okay, this is the authorized channel partner, something like that. But this also brings some under table and corruption. Whenever in many things, I don't want to say this, but in many wherever the government controls the business, uh, there some types of corruption happens, under table money or something like that. So this is one of the challenge which we have to cater. One of the best challenges, one of the major challenges, products quality. Now there are several brands in solar panel. If you see solar inverter, there are, let's say, 100+ brands. Customer are confused which brand to go for. And since none of the brands they have heard it before in any of the advertisement channels. One of the factors is subsidy also. Since the project cost is higher, many a times people are not getting. In some cities, people are getting subsidy amount. In many, they are not even getting. So nowadays, the Indian portal, national portal is there. People are getting subsidy, but many others are still not getting. People doesn't know about it. Awareness is also not there. Even the EPC company doesn't know about this much. So they avoid this subsidy part. And yeah, these are the some of the problems people think about before adoption of solar. Should I invest or not? What will be the ROI? I will be getting ROI or not? Which partners to go ahead with? Which EPC company to select? Which which brand of product to select? And all those things are there. I will be getting service or not? Let's say solar panels are of 25 years performance warranty, 10 years of product warranty. People doesn't know, and no one knows if that company will be alive in the next 5 years or not. So I will be getting that that replacement or maintenance, whatever is there, we will be getting or not. Or even the EPC companies, because there is a very less margin, neck to neck margin in residential projects. So that the chances of that company going bankrupt is very high, and which we have seen in 2020-21 Corona period. People were not getting the projects, they got bankrupt, and they went to their respective villages and they shut down their things. So those people who have installed with them and now they are getting issues, so they are in pain. What to do, whom to approach, which company to approach. And talking about this maintenance done, services, I have already spoken. And one thing is loan. People, both the customer and the EPC players doesn't know much about loan. And yeah, this happens in utility projects. All projects goes in this loans basis or OPEX. But in the residential sectors, neither the customer think of going for a loan, or neither this EPC company is going for a loan. Customers just think that, okay, the project cost is 3 lakh rupees. I have 3 lakhs rupees or not in my bank account. Yes or no? If yes, they might go for solar project. If no, they will postpone it, or they will cancel the project. So these are the things people think before adoption, and in which the biggest challenge is lack of awareness. In bigger cities, there are a lot of people who are getting more than 5K, 6K, 8K, 10K, 15K electricity bill, but they don't know there is something called solar, in which we can invest and save this money in 4 years or 3 years ROI, return on investment. So thank you. Ashima.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining in detail. So the last question is for Mr. Dharmendra Jain. What advice would you like to give to new entrepreneurs who are interested in venturing into the solar rooftop sector?
Well, as Mr. Akshay Gupta has very rightly said, this particular segment of rooftop solar is very, very competitive. And no doubt there are many, many challenges as well. And of course, that goes with most of the businesses. But yeah, rooftop or solar is little different or little tricky because of so many factors involved in this segment. As Mr. Gupta has said, that margins are very thin. Technology is also changing. Supplier may not honor their commitment. All these things are inherent. There is no doubt about it. But still, I would say there is a huge opportunity in this sector. एक ऐसा समय आएगा जब हर एक छत वाला solar power developer कहलाएगा, because this will be mandatory for all the houses and for the industrial units also, for their benefit, looking into their benefit, they're looking into their cost savings. One has to go for solar in times to come. Technology may change, technology may improve much better, efficiency will improve, as Mr. Tiwari has rightly said. Technology will evolve, but this segment has to go a very long way. So, for the new upcoming entrepreneurship, I would say one thing very clearly: the person who wish to come into this segment should have come with a strong willpower. And as every businesses need a lot of patience, and this business would need some capital extra over and above the other businesses. So to face these situations which may come up in this segment. But if you look at business opportunity wise, there is trillions and trillions dollars coming up. But one has to choose the sector or the segment, because this solar rooftop segment is also very vast. There are primarily three segments which I would see in the rooftop area, in the rooftop sector. One is in capex, one is in resco, and third is asset management. So let's say if somebody is having good amount of capital to invest, I would suggest him to go in for the resco mode. Resco mode is where investment of the whole system is done by the entrepreneur, and the generation is determined with the mutual agreement entered through a PPA at a defined price which they agree, and they sell the unit electricity generated to the rooftop owners. So if they have sufficient capital, one should go for resco. And if they do not have much capital but small capital, then I would suggest to go for the capex mode, wherein if somebody wish to get the solar system installed on their rooftop, one can facilitate, one can provide the services and integrate the whole system on their roof and get the thing power terminated to their connection, get the net metering done. This also sector has a huge opportunities, wherein number of residential or commercial people would like to get the solar installed in times to come. And third segment where there is not enough capital, then I would say the kind of investment which I am seeing in solar segment, rooftop also and ground mount also, when these many assets have been built, let's say out of 100 gigawatt, let's say 40 gigawatt has been installed in the ground mount or 10 gigawatt rooftop, who are going to manage these assets? These assets are to go for 25 years to come. So when I see this opportunity, I feel कि जैसे अगर आपने देखा हो सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज कंपनीज में अगर 1 लाख आदमी भी हो तो भी कम है, वैसे ही अगर एसेट मैनेजमेंट की कोई अच्छी कंपनी बनाए तो 1 लाख आदमी डिप्लॉय कर सकता है, बट सर्विसेज अच्छी देनी पड़ेगी विद द हेल्प ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी. सो आई सी इमेंस अपॉर्चुनिटी.
There's good amount of opportunity in this solar segment
Because of the thrust of Government of India. Government of India is giving RPO compliant also, is mandatory they are doing. Then they are doing carbon credit, and then there is PLI scheme which Government of India has announced for the solar manufacturing segment. So truly speaking, there is immense opportunity. If anybody wants to enter this business, can choose out of these 3 segments and start afresh. If they are willing to do tomorrow, I would say they should start today.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would you like to add in something, some of the insights?
Yeah, can I add a point?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, so rightly mentioned by Akshaya what he mentioned about this lot of households jo 1500 rupees unki bill hai, but they can install rooftop solar, but they're unaware about the things, or they don't want to make a say 3 lakh investment on rooftop solar, because they can only save some amount of money out of their 1,500 rupees. So that's exactly where Mr. Jain mentioned about the RESCO model. So these models, so that's why I gave stress on why it is important for the government to provide this one or to facilitate the RESCO model. क्योंकि आपकी जो the model the cash sales model or the this one, the ownership model, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who would be willing to join that sector, but not many entrepreneurs would like to join the RESCO model because it is a lot of investment, and that investment of working capital and other things, the rate of interest and other things would have to be made in a different way, so that there is also some interest this one by them. Commercial rate of interest अगर वहाँ पे charge करेंगे, so nobody would be interested to invest in this model क्योंकि उनको return कितना आएगा cutthroat competition में. So that's why there is a job of the government to do that. I think we are not learning enough from our past experience. Rooftop solar जब rooftop के नाम से नहीं जाना जाता, Aryavart Gramin Bank and many of these rural banks actually got Ashton Award because of this promotion of rooftop solar. At that time, it was not called rooftop solar, but in the rural areas. अगर rural areas में इतना successful हुए, तो urban areas में with reduced price of solar, this one it can create a huge impact. I don't know why we are not learning from those model and redesigning some of our models to implement this one. So just wanted to add this point.
सर मैं भी एक बात कहना चाहूंगा, जब हमने ये बिजनेस चालू किया था ना, तो कैपिटल एज यू राइटली सेड, मतलब कोई भी बैंक जल्दी से देने के लिए तैयार नहीं होता था, बट वर्ल्ड बैंक की एक स्कीम आई थी जिसमें स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया को नोडल एजेंसी बनाया गया था उसके डिसबर्समेंट के लिए. लकीली वी हैव बीन बैंकिंग विद स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया फ्रॉम लास्ट 30-40 इयर्स इन आवर डिफरेंट वेंचर्स. सो आई टेल यू कि इन द स्टेट ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश वी वर द फर्स्ट वन to get the line of credit of World Bank from State Bank of India. So otherwise, people were not giving loan like to any person if they come forward. Because of our past experience and because of our past track record, we could get that. So financing is a very big challenge here in this sector, which I feel.
Yes, I would like to add up also. So in a general terms, if I say, if there are 100 people who are interested, somewhat they got to know about solar, and 100 people are there who are interested and they are like asking in the market about quotation and price. Out of 100, if you give them the pitching and after giving quotation, not even 15%
turned out. I agree.
After that, they will not support your call also. So 100 people are interested, but the conversion rate is 5%, but the second call happening maybe under 15% only. So because the major issue is here is price, and the institution or government should give collateral free loans at a very minimal interest rate. Look, I am one of the owner in I have another business, is a fire business, fire extinguisher manufacturing and hydrant system. So in that, what happens, because since it is mandatory, the demand is too high. The client gives order to company A, B or C or D, but they will give definitely. But in solar, 85% of the leads or the genuine requirements goes off because of this price and these factors. So this we have to tackle. And the second thing sir was saying about carbon credits is also very important, and we as a company also thinking about coming future. We are ready with it, but the government is not making 100% correct policy as of now. They have, I think in mid last year, they have talked about something in last August, I think 2022, something they have told, but the correct 100% policy has not been released till now. And if that happens, if the carbon credit thing happens, a lot of industries who are releasing the CO2 and other poisonous gases, they have to put some solar, or they have to buy some credits of the people who have installed solar. So these people will get extra benefit also. And the third thing, in utility and commercial corporates, there is something called accelerated depreciation thing, like tax benefits on installing solar projects. This very rarely any company knows. We have to tell them. So this is also awareness problem. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just a quick point with this accelerated depreciation. I think for this accelerated depreciation would be only applicable for industries and those who are commercial this one of installer. I think in California, for example, tax credits have been provided with reduction in house tax and municipality tax for those households who implement rooftop solar. This one, something of that sort probably should also be developed. This system should be developed in India. That will help in speeding up the process. I think we can do a cost benefit analysis that how much the municipality can earn or save, or the what would be this this one if the government municipality is giving those credits, how it will help the overall environment, and that way the municipality might save this one in not doing some of the things which they are doing now to clean the environment. This one. So those cost benefit analysis also needs to be studied. But I think, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Tiwari, I think a lot of work needs to be done between the industry, government, and the academia to work out some viable models. This one, and more such studies can help in developing those viable models.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. So let's move on to Q&A session. We have a few questions here. So the first question is for Mr. Dharmendra, sir. And the question is, how can DISCOM be onboarded to promote rooftop solar?
Well, DISCOM can play a very active role as far as rooftop is concerned. I would say this segment needs a lot of support from DISCOM, because previously DISCOM had a mindset like if solar is installed, their jobs will be gone, like which has been mentioned by Mr. I think so, Dr. Palit also. So this kind of mindset, it needs to be changed, and if DISCOM is really positive about it, because ultimately net metering thing has to be taken care by the DISCOM, and their role is very much important, because in most of the state you say they are limited of DISCOM which are operating, and if they play a proactive role in this particular sector, and if they support us, and recently you have seen the government of India is disbursing the subsidy benefit also through DISCOM. So if this works out in a positive manner, then I think the DISCOM play a very big role in giving a boost to the rooftop segment, all because first, net metering facility they can provide quickly, and second, they can give the subsidy benefit pass on to the consumer. So for doing all these things, they need to create a portal which is more user friendly, so that a common man can access the portal and can feed his requirement and get access to the subsidy. This is what I feel.
Thank you, sir. We have another question. What are the opportunities and latest developments within the battery storage systems for greater adoption of solar rooftop installations? Anyone would like to answer?
Yeah, may I take the question?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so battery adoption, this technology is again growing in a different dimensions, and battery technology is basically is a mandatory really required for the off-grid kind of a solar power system. And if you go about the industries or oil and gas or those, they need the autonomy of at least 72 hours. So there we need a huge battery bank to store the energy which is harvested in the daytime, and that particular energy is saved in the battery system. So now if we talk about the new battery system which is now coming, which is a lithium ion batteries, this has recently evolved, and the earlier technology, which is valve regulated lead acid battery, it has come like early 1900s. So since that time, this technology was great going, and still it is great going. But then the new technology, lithium ion, which has been evolved recently, it is having a lot of advantages. But the only thing is that it is not economical as compared to VRLA, and it is around 2.5 times costlier than this. So anyways, now maybe you are aware that the lithium is going to be harvested from India, and soon the things are going to better. And this battery storage, problem is going to be addressed in a larger way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we have another question. How important is it for us to reduce import dependence on solar PV panels and strengthen domestic manufacturing capabilities in the renewable energy sector? Anyone would like to take the question?
Debajit ji, if you want to take the question.
Yeah, so I think it's important for the local manufacturing to develop. Of course, we have to be careful that that means everything has its own advantage and disadvantage. I can understand that because of the domestic content requirement, the price of solar is increased a little bit because of the removal of the custom duty, imposition of the custom duty. This one and the number and the figures as I think compared to last year, the installation has reduced a little bit, but I think it is a short-term pain. Maybe in the long term, the domestic manufacturing would help the sector to grow in a more rapid pace, and with some lithium also being identified in India, probably the battery technology will also develop faster than what we had anticipated. Our dependency on imports will reduce. So maybe a little bit of short-term, one or maybe few months of pain or maybe 1 year of pain might help India in the long run as we grow our domestic capacity. The way the domestic capacity is being developed, what I could understand based on the government figures is that out of the 62 gigawatt that is being planned as part of the PLI scheme, the second phase of the PLI scheme, probably around 40 gigawatt or so would be domestically consumed, and we'll start and we'll be a big exporting nation in the years to come. And with the increase in the supply, the prices will also further reduce. So let's take the pain for for a few more months. Hopefully things will be much better in the years to come.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering the question. We have another question. How solar developers are planning to set up huge-scale solar power plants after seeing every year's climate change and solar eradication degradations? I think Dharmendra sir can answer this question.
Well, I can say there is basically world is moving toward the renewable energy as you see, and the kind of target our country has fixed and being the leader in the world toward advocating COP. So it is that solar is one of such renewable energy which needs to be installed to achieve those targets, and no doubt large projects are being undertaken by large entities who have the appetite with the capital, with the manpower, with the land banks and all those things. So when people say that the degradation is there, the degradation of course is there. It's a span of 25 years. So no doubt, but whenever such projects are being installed, I'm sure they must be making their DPRs, the project reports also. So in those project reports, they must be factoring in such kind of reduction in the generation. And even thereafter, if the returns are coming, then I see that project must be viable, which every investor would like to see, whether it is a small 1 megawatt, 100 megawatt or 1 gigawatt. But of course, when I see the large projects have their own advantages also, because the scale of operation is there. Like if I buy 1 megawatt of modules, the price will be X. And somebody is buying for 1 gigawatt, 500 megawatt. So their price will of course be X minus 1, X minus 2, X minus 3. So they get competitive with the price reduction as well. So their project become more viable. And no doubt when they operate in such a large number, their other costs are also being reduced. Say the procurement of land or the manpower or other manpower cost, which is attached with the small project. So I'm sure anybody who's investing in large projects must be factoring in such problems or such factors before installation. And without having such large project, we cannot achieve the target which has been set forth by our Honorable Prime Minister. And this not only will help to achieve the COP target, which has been fixed by the globally, I would say. So keeping everything in mind, I feel it is important to have large projects. Our requirement of electricity is also increasing day by day. And if I am correct, I have seen a study where at some time our electricity, maybe 2030 or maybe 2040, our requirement will double. So how to meet those targets until we install such large projects, as we are not advocating against, we are advocating the generations and other factors. So we have very limited resources. So solar is one of the best such resources available to us. And it is always advisable to install in a larger project, looking into our country's geographies. So I think so they are viable, I feel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session today. And thank you, attendees, for your valuable time. So we'll just wrap up the session now.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Akshaya. Thank you, Virat.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Tiwari.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gupta. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Palit. Thank you, Jain.
Thank you,
Jain
Tiwari
sahab.
sahab.
Thank you, Gupta ji.
Thank you. Nice meeting. Nice meeting.
Nice meeting.
Pleasure.
And thank you, Ashima and
Bye,
Virat.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ashima.
sir.
Bye-bye.